Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to this live stream, which is sponsored by Restream. As musicians, as performers, it's really difficult to actually start live streaming. It's actually easier than ever to start live streaming, but for musicians and performers, we have to take an extra step. And in this live stream, I'm going to be showing you how we can get that going, and also use Restream to do that as well. So, hi, how you doing? If you don't know who I am, my name is JP. This is John Paul Music UK. And if you do know who I am, hi, how are we? Hope you're well. Now, over here on this side, just there, is the comments section. And this is being live streamed on our YouTube channel, but it's also being live streamed on John Paul Music UK on Facebook and Twitter as well. So if you are on here and you want to say hello, it will actually say hello no matter where you are, which is really, really great. Victoria, good evening. How are we? I hope you're well. And I'm going to show you a couple of back end things today. I'm going to show you how a couple of different things work, how I do live streaming. And there's a couple of things I've got which are additional than just the basics, but I'm going to show you going right from the basics. For those who don't know, I did a load of live streaming on Facebook. I used to do a thing called Sunday Songs with JP, and it literally was just the phone. And then we started adding a couple of things in to the point where we're at now, where we've got basically a couple of pieces of equipment. And it doesn't take much to kind of up your level with live streaming. A lot of people just point a phone, at a guitar or, at a space where you're going to play and perform, like this room in here. And there's a load of other things you can do where you can just completely up the level. So before we get started, as you quite rightly I should obviously mention our sponsor today, which is Restream.io. And Restream is basically a company which can actually you can start your streaming, and you start your streaming through them, and they push it out to all the different places. And that's how we're doing this today. So there's a link underneath, and it's also in the description box in YouTube and Facebook, where you can actually join Restream. And for joining, you can join completely for free, and you can start restreaming completely for free, by the way. But there is a pro version, and if you do want to obviously click that link, you'll get $10. You'll get $10 towards your next live stream, which if you want to use it, and that's fine. There is a completely free version of Restream as well, and I'm going to use this. I'm showing you a couple of things from it, and also I've got a couple of pro things added in as well. So how I'm streaming right now, I'm using Restream, and I'm not using any software at all. I'm not using any software at all. All this you can see, this is all being done by Restream, which is called Restream Studio. So if you're not familiar with that, I'm going to take you through this today. And as I said, I'm going to show you the back end of this and show you how it works, which is really, really cool. And it's actually incredibly easy. If you're a performer or you're a musician, if you're a performer or you're a musician, or so anyone who basically needs their hands free, this is really, really easy, because you don't have to have loads of different pieces of equipment if you don't want to. You can just have your laptop with the camera going, or what you could do is you can plug in a load of different things. Now, first of all, I'm just going to address this. This is, as I say, which is basically what they call a multi-chat. So as I'm talking to you right now, we're live on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter. You can put more in if you want to. And then this actually comes up wherever you want. So as you can see, Marvin is over in the States. Hi, Marvin. How are we? And Marvin's actually just commented, good day, my friend, on Facebook. But Andrew has like, hello from Denmark. And Victoria's hello from Denmark. No, Victoria's hello and saying hi from YouTube. This is live, and it's 2022. It's the way it is. But you can see that people are commenting from different places, which is really, really good. And I just think this is really nice and simple, because it doesn't matter where you were on. You guys could end up having a conversation. You can two different platforms. So this is one of the really big, powerful things on Restream, where you can actually stream to multiple places. And there's lots of companies that do that. But what Restream can do is they can bring you all together. And I really like that. I think that's a really big thing. Imagine doing a gig and you don't let in half the audience. But people go, oh, if you're on YouTube, then if I'm on Facebook, I'm not going to see it. Well, actually, not only can you see it, but you can also talk to each other as well. And I think that's really, really powerful. So I'm going to basically take a couple of things off this screen, and then I'm going to start showing you what we're actually going to do. So First and foremost, we've got our lovely camera. Now, I'm using a Mac right now, which is just down here, and I'm just using Chrome. And I'm actually going to bring Chrome up and I'm going to show you the back end of this in a second. But then I've also got this, and this is a camera. This is a Sony ZV-E10 camera, which is a like a vlogging camera. But one reason why I like it is because you can just USB stream out. Now it's 720 out, if you know what that means. But also, the Sony cameras are renowned for kind of doing this eye tracking, which it does. So if I move it closer, you'll notice the background over there gets a bit blurry, and if I move it back, it goes a little bit more in focus. So if you're moving around, you want a camera that follows you. You can get things like that, like the OBS cam, I think it's called, the Osbot cam, which we did on the channel ages ago. But this is a really good thing. Obviously, just position it where you want, and then it can track your eye. Therefore, it knows to track a human. You can even put it in what's called product mode. So if you hold something up, it focuses on that really quickly. But all I've done is plug it in by USB Type C into the actual Mac, and then you select it as the camera option on Restream through Chrome. And that's it. The other option as well is this, and this is obviously a microphone. So this is the Aston Stealth microphone that I use, and I use that for talking because it's absolutely lovely. And I use this, and this is XLR, so it's a normal microphone that's XLR in. And the way I've got it going into the computer is via a audio interface. So an audio interface is something you can plug in, is what people use to record, but you can also get a USB mixer as well. So if you've got multiple things, you could either get an audio interface or a USB mixer and then plug the output of that into the computer. And again, this just recognizes it. It just goes, oh, look, an audio interface, and you pick it. And then that's it. It's live. It's that simple. So let's go over to the chat and let's see what everyone's doing. So, by the way, Marvin, how are we? How is your live streaming going? I hope it's going well. I've not been on Facebook as much as I should be answering questions, but I hope your live streaming is going well. I know you got someone in to help you whilst you were performing. If you haven't seen Marvin play, by the way, you're in for a treat. This gentleman has played the world. By the way, we're in the presence of greatness here. Victoria, fellow Liverpudlian musician. Yes, absolutely. I don't have the accent though because I'm Wirral based. I can put the Scouse accent on if you really want me to. I help in real life, and that's it. No, obviously, well-known tech store, and this is it. So yeah, so basically, oh well, let's have a look. There we go. I use Restream. It's cool and it's very stable, and that's another thing as well. How stable is the platform now? If you're where I live, the internet isn't the fastest on the planet, and it's a really big thing to obviously get a stable thing. If you're doing live streaming and talking like this, and the audio breaks up a little bit, it'll get back on track and it'll be okay. If you're a musician and the audio starts breaking up, people will leave. Even if the visuals are fantastic, the audio's got to be first, and it's got to be sublime. It's got to not fail. And that's really hard and it's really difficult for performers and musicians to get that right. Now, you've got other things like OBS and people use that. I've used that for years, but you've got to know the streaming in and outs. You've got to know the output rates and things like that. With Restream, it's so in flipping easy that you can just turn around and go, I want to do it at 720p, done, and it'll just figure it out, and it'll start figuring out the like the frame rate per second and the stream rate per second and the quality as well. So everything goes into the computer, and then Restream just takes all that information and just pumps it out to Restream, and then they pump it out to all the other different places. So that's what's really clever about this. So let's have a quick look at this. There we go. Oh, what you like, Marvin. Thank you very much. It's very good. Right, Victoria. Ecamm versus Restream. Thoughts, please. I believe Ecamm is bringing out their own version. Ooh, I didn't know that actually. Ecamm, obviously, the downside of Ecamm, and I'm not dissing either, but basically, Ecamm, the downside is obviously you've got to install the software. You've kind of got to learn it. So it is another program to learn. Whereas with Restream, the Restream Studio, it's just all on a web browser. You just plug in, and there are some things you can do, and obviously there's buttons you can press to make things happen. Like for example, I can do this, and I actually built that myself. It's just I drew that actually. I wrote it and drew it, and then you can. It's just looked as what's called an overlay, a picture, and you can put it on top, and I can just very quickly take it away again. The other things I can do is I can bring people out of the chat. So, for example, I can actually show different parts of the chat. So, for example, if I was to go like this, we can actually bring up what Victoria just said, which was, "Hi, Marvin," and then we can hide it again. But I'm going to show you all of this as well. I'm going to show you all the different parts in the backstage of this. But before we get going into any of this, I just want to shout out and just say a massive thank you. Over the past 12 months, we've been on a bit of a journey with the YouTube channel. And in December, we went past 10,000 subscribers, and we're very close to 11,000 already. So I'm very, very happy about that. And I'm very, very humbled and very, very, you know, massively thank you from the bottom of my heart for everyone who tunes in or everyone that like watches my videos. It does take hours, and I still work a full-time job, and it's really, really great to basically see that people are, I'm doing the right thing. People want to watch what I'm putting out. So I just want to say thank you more than anything else. So thank you. Right, let's get down to business, shall we? First of all, there's something new on Restream. It's relatively new, and I want to see if it works, but I'm going to try that in a minute. So you guys are going to become guinea pigs for me. So let's have a quick look at this. There we go. There we go. Marvin, John Paul assisted me in beginning and understanding how to get my music out onto social. Yeah, the pandemic. Do you remember that? Yeah, it was difficult times. So yeah, we helped Marvin, and obviously try and get out there. And it was the beginnings of it. When the pandemic hit back in, we're looking at basically almost 2 years now. We're coming up to the 2 year mark in the UK anyway. Um, the whole industry, the whole music industry just shut down, and then there was loads of people going, how do I live stream? I've just lost thousands of pounds worth of gigs. How do I live stream? So that's why obviously we did a couple of videos on that, and then did one video that went very, very viral, which is very good, and I'm happy about that. And the key thing is for me, I'm not for those who don't know, yes, I do this YouTube channel. I'm actually a live gigging musician, and I play live, and I play in pubs and clubs. I play my own music. I also play covers as well. And the big thing for me is to not change your setup. So imagine you go into a venue and how you would normally set up. You don't really want to change too much of that, because then otherwise it feels a bit alien. It feels a bit weird. So I use live looping pedals, and I use like guitar. I've got one here. Hopefully you heard that. Hang on. There you go. I don't know if you heard that. Okay. And I don't want to change the way I kind of perform, because I want to just perform to a audience, whether that's live or on stage. So the key thing for me is to make sure that you don't change too much of your setup. And then the outsource of that is the audience, and the audience is the live stream. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for all your followers. Do you know what? You get milestones for followers, and and it sounds cheesy, but every single follower, it means something. You look at people like, the big YouTubers, like Mr. Beast and things like that. Every YouTuber started with 0 followers. So it's a fantastic thing, and just thank you so much. Yeah, it does mean the world. So anyway, we'll move on. So I want to show you basically how easy this is, how you can literally do what I'm doing right now, just by plugging in. I've only got 2 things put in. The interface, which is the microphone is into, and the camera. And the only reason for the camera is just because it's a nice camera, and it's got this lovely digital SLR look. I can use the camera, obviously, of the Mac if I wanted to, and just use that. You don't have to suddenly go out and buy a camera. I've only just got this camera the end of last year, because of filming. But then also, for those who know, most of my filming for the channel was all done on one of these, on an iPhone. And I started with an iPhone, I think it was an iPhone 10, or the iPhone X, as people call it. It's the iPhone 10. So I filmed on that, and then just edited on that. I also live streamed on that as well. And that was just using the phone, pointing it at my face, and plugging in a couple of things just to make the audio a bit better. Right, so that is lovely. That's fantastic, Marvin. By utilizing John Paul, I was able to do 2 massive performances via Facebook Live to over 40,000 people. Wow, that's amazing, and I'm so happy I'll be able to help you with that, mate. That's fantastic. I didn't know that. That's really good. That's cool. So I'm doing something right then. Cool. I'll stay in touch to get more assistance on my YouTube channel, where there's several older videos that have gone over wow, 1.1 million, not even monetized yet. You're not monetized? Oh, sacrilege. Marvin, get that sorted, get monetized, because as a musician, it's just people paying you for watching your stuff. That's what you want. People paying you while you sleep. Definitely do that. Definitely do that. In fact, Marvin, send me an email, and what we'll do is I will point you in the way of a couple of people who helped me with my YouTube channel, just from a monetization point of view, and shown you a couple of things. Right, let's get down to the nitty gritty. So first of all, can you hear this? I hope you can. So this is one of Restream's new thing. You can put a little bit of background music in, but obviously if you're a musician you might not want to do this, but I thought I'd just put a little bit of background music in and see if it works. Let me know if it does. Just give me a shout out or a comment and let me know if you can hear it. What if you never sleep? Yeah, never sleep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my screen, and I'm going to show you what I've got on here. And first and foremost, if you're doing this on a computer, if you're doing this on a phone or a laptop, whatever, you're going to need to know a couple of things. And the first thing is that if you're plugging in, you've got guitars, you've got amps, you've got a harp, you've got whatever, the two things you're going to need. It's a bit quiet. Okay, that's fine. Well, let's turn it up then. Thank you, David. The two things you want to do, I don't want it to be distracting. Is that distracting? Is that okay? I hope it's okay. The two things you want to do is you basically want to plug in and you want to be able to be seen, okay? So I know that sounds really obvious, but I need you to understand that. So there's two things you can do. You can either get something like this. This is a USB mixer. So if you're a band or you're a duo, or even if you're a solo artist and you want to plug a couple of things in and you just need a stereo out, then this has a USB on the back of it, and then you plug it into the computer and the computer goes, oh look, a USB mixer, and it just takes the left and the right channel and you mix it yourself. Okay, so you actually turn it up and you pan it and you put it where you want, and you get a stereo mix going out. This is Behringer Xenix Q802 USB, and on Tonum it's around about 50 quid, £49. And this is an 8-channel, so you've got 2 mics, and you've got left and right here as well. You've got return send as well, which is very useful. So what I do is I plug the main out into my speaker, which is this monstrosity thing over there. That's my Mackie Reach, by the way. They're discontinued now, but they now do a whole new series, and they've just released some new ones, which is fantastic, because NAMM is around the corner. And then you plug that in so you can hear it, because if I'm doing looping, I need to hear myself. And then what you do is plug the USB into the computer, and then you just choose it as the option, and as opposed to the microphone of your speaker, the microphone of your computer. That's the first option. That's a USB mixer, and they are as cheap as hell. You can get them really cheap. That's around about 49, 50 quid. The other option is something like this. This is an audio interface. Now, the difference between the two is the audio interface is taking in the highest quality it can. And then what you would normally do with this, with something like GarageBand or Ableton or Logic, is it turns each one of these into a separate channel, and then you're getting it at the highest quality possible. Now, this is a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. This is the 2nd generation one, and I've had way over 10 years, easily. I think, I want to say yes on that. And then again, you've got stuff to plug into a speaker, so you plug it into monitors if it's like a studio, and then USB. So that USB would then go into, again, the computer, and again, you just pick it. Now, the downside of these ones is that some software go, that's the left channel, and that's the right channel, and that's 2 in and 2 out. You've got ones that are like 20 in and 20 out. So you have to kind of tell it what that is. With a USB mixer, that's just a stereo left and right, so you can plug in as many things as you want, and then the output of that is just left and right out, and then you're balanced, like, in a way, because it's more like a live environment. So if you're someone who's live, you want to plug a couple of extra things in, I'd say that is a really good option. Whereas an audio interface can go in the hundreds, even thousands of pounds, and what you're getting is the highest quality of audio, but also at the same time you're paying for that as well. So I've done that with both of those, and they are very useful. And I'd say for anyone who's sort of like a live performer, the USB mixer is the way to go, because you can just plug in as you would, or if you've got a mixer already, check it out, see if it's got a USB on the back. You may be surprised. If you've bought mixers in the past, a lot of mixers now come with a USB, or you kind of bundled in. There's a Yamaha one, which is a very good one as well. Now, if you are, let's just take the Focusrite, for example. That's an audio interface. You also get with that a cable, and that's great. And that is USB-B to USB-A, which is the traditional one. If you buy the new one now, it's USB Type-C, because that's the 3rd generation. And if you're plugging it into something like a new computer or a Mac, that's fine, no problem at all. But this is USB-A, and you're going to need an adapter to plug it in. So I've got things like the hyperdrive adapter that can plug into USB Type-C to plug into the new MacBook Pros. Or the worst one is try and plug that into an iPhone. You can't. But you can, you need an adapter, and you need something like this. If you're going to just use your phone, and the cameras on the phones now, even the past couple of years have been fantastic. And it's basically one of these things. These things, if anyone has spoken to the lovely Pete Johns, who has just joined us in Studio Live today. Hello, how are you, mate? You right? Are you up early or are you up late? Hang on, I'm just trying to work this out. It must be early there. So for those who don't know, Pete is in the Australasian area. So looking about good, 10 to 12 hours? How's the sun, by the way? It's not sunny here. But anyway, this gives you Lightning, which is the Lightning connection you need for an iPhone. And then underneath here is USB, the normal USB. So this isn't an audio connection. Technically, it's a camera adapter, and it was designed to plug a camera in so you can get your photos off on an iPad or an iPhone. But loads of people now know that you can plug anything into this. You can even get USB microphones and plug them in directly into here. But when you plug an audio interface into one of these, your phone turns on and says that device is running too much power or drawing too much power. And this is why this little adapter plug, this is Lightning. So what you do is you plug in your power into there, plug that in, and then plug your audio interface into there, and it gives power to both the phone and the audio interface so you don't run out of battery. Now that's all great and groovy and everything else. And then if you're doing live streaming, I say just be aware of the left and the right. So if you plug a microphone in on channel 1, it might only come out of one ear. So just be aware of that. And you can basically then, just adjust it accordingly. And this is so invaluable. It's so important if you're doing it with a phone. And then just throw your phone on a tripod. I mean, the tripod I use for the channel is like behind me. It's there. And it's a really old tripod. It's about 30 quid, like 10 years ago. I really must get a new one for this year. But you could just throw it in and just see that thing there. That is just an iPhone cradle. You just put the phone in there, plug that in, and then plug your audio interface, and then plug your your guitar and your microphone in, and away you go. Now, that's all fine at home. What if you want to do this on the go, or if you want to live stream in a field, then you need power. And then the other thing I would highly recommend, which I'm frantically unplugging because I forgot to get it ready, is a power bank. So this is a really old one now. This is the RAV Power, and you can get ones from Anchor, you can get them from all kinds. And this literally is a power bank that you can charge up, and as you can see, it's got USBs on. So I can just plug that with a lightning cable into there. That is good to go. And then I plug the audio interface and then plug that into the phone. And then you are completely portable. I did live streams where I did Sunday Songs with JP, and they were at least an hour long, and that's fine in a normal environment. But start doing that with your phone, and the phone drains like crazy. But also, you're going to need that power because the audio interface will take too much power anyway. So these pieces of equipment are fantastic if you're plugging into, whether you're plugging into, a phone or an iPad. If you're plugging into a computer like a laptop or a Mac, then obviously, existing laptops, they do have USB-A. The new ones are USB Type-C, and you can get adapters. And we did a video all about that, about basically getting the right adapter as opposed to buying dongles. So you can do things like that. You can find adapters on, Amazon and all the places as well. So I've got a cable here going from a looper into what was the laptop just to record something, which is coming out next week. So yeah, hang on a sec. Let's go back over to the chat, and then what we'll do is after we've done that, I'm going to show you what I can see. I'm going to show you the back end of this right now. So this is obviously sponsored by Restream. The guys who are doing this right now for me, and the background music you can hear is all from Restream as well. There is a link underneath. If you click it, if you're thinking of it streaming to more than one place in 2022, this year is the year to do it. It really is. And live streaming is going on almost like its golden age at the moment. And Restream basically just do it for you. So this is really, really easy. And when you click that link, if you are thinking about doing it, you just link up your YouTube and your Facebook and your Twitter and your LinkedIn and whatever you want to do, and they just push it out, and it's really, really easy. But if you do click that link, you can get $10 to go towards your pro level. If you want to up the game on Restream, you can actually get a pro version. And there's also a business version as well. I use the pro version. We pay for that, and then we believe I believe it's valid. And Restream are really, really good. I really like them. There's loads of other ones out there, as we said before, but you've got to learn that piece of software. I just use Restream Studio. I used to use OBS. I've kind of stopped using OBS, if I'm honest, because Restream Studio just kind of does what I need it to do. And it's incredibly easy. So let's have a quick look. Right, so there we go. It's smart with Restream through your browser. Yes, it is. I think it pixels a lot and the picture freeze sometimes. I use Restream with OBS. Mix and freeze. Oh, okay, cool. Nice. I like that. That's got really nice. Cool. You are up early. Yes. Agree for the win. Nice. Let's have a quick look. Where are we up to? Yeah. There we go. He's up early. Right, the major obstacle. Marvin, the major obstacle last year was performing live with another performer in another location with a piano and vocal. The delay was really not good. Has that been worked out any better? Well, unfortunately, delay is because of physics. You can't really get around that. The only way to get around it is, imagine if you're playing to a backing track, they could delay that into your ears and you sing in time. But then imagine two locations, the time it takes for audio and video to go into a central location, cross over, you hear each other, go back, and then go out into the world. It's difficult. You could probably do it to a click track, and there's a couple of companies who do that. It's just incredibly difficult, and I don't think anyone has quite nailed it yet. There's some companies who are trying really hard to get that working and get the latency down, but for musicians we need milliseconds, not seconds. We need it to be, as soon as you press a button or piano, it plays that noise. You don't want it to be delayed at all. So it's hard, definitely hard. Marvin, I have one iPhone 13 Pro, the cinema. Yes. So this new thing, of course, is I'm using a digital camera right now, a Sony camera. And it's got that lovely sort of like blurry thing. If I move in and out, you can see over here, it's kind of like going all blurry. The iPhone 13's, the cinematic mode is just glorious and it's lovely. And the amazing thing about that is when you edit it, you can edit the blurriness afterwards, which, like, that's insane. So it's clever software where you can, if say it's like you looked away and look back and it didn't quite focus on you after you've recorded it, you can go back in and pull that focus so it's crisp and on the time and on the moment, which is really good. Browser based, yeah. So Pete uses a different system. I think if I was to guess correctly, we use StreamYard, don't we? Use that, browser based has come a huge way in the last 2 years. Yeah, it's so simple, and it is, and you just plug in and away you go. There's loads of other ones out there. I prefer Restream mainly because of the couple of the features they've got, like things like this. But the big one is this right now, that Marvin is talking on Facebook and Pete is talking on YouTube, and you could technically have a conversation with each other because this is their super chat. So I love things like that, which is really, really good. If you are on YouTube and you are getting some kind of value out of this live stream, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me and it helps the channel grow. And also, if you do it right now, it will help people and send it out to more people right now, and they'll join us, and they can join us on the live stream. We can have a invaluable chat. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you. You use both. Nice. You're comparing the features to make his final decision. Oh, please let us know. I'm sure you're going to make a video out of that. You've got to. Please make a video out of that, Pete. That would be fantastic. And I will watch. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you my screen. Now, this is where it's going to get really weird, because you're going to see multiples of me, like in a sort of infinite weird sort of like scene. So let's just do it. I was trying to find a way that we couldn't do this, but there's no way around it really. So you can see here, that window here, this is what I see. And this is this is Restream Studio as it is right now that I can see. And I'm basically showing you that on his side, you've got your inputs, which is your camera and your audio. So you can see here, I can see the audio of this microphone. I could mute it. I'm not going to do that, obviously. I can see this, which is this, and then you've got our music here, which is in the background. And you can see the volume. So my volume's at 100%. The down tempo is at 40%. I can press this little button and it shuffles the down tempo. You can have other genres if you want. I've just decided to do that. And then what we've got up here, it literally says the title of our stream, and we've got where your channels are. And if we want to end the stream, not going to do that. And then this is a real new thing where you've got basically here, you've got different things you can have. So I could have it all set up for talking about Restream, and then I could set it up again with a different folder. And this is just a normal folder right now, but I could have different folders with different things in it. At the moment, I haven't got it like that. I've got everything in one place, but I am going to separate it just to make it even easier for myself. So that's really, really useful. And you can literally have a new brand, as it were. So you could have one that's talking about streaming. The other one is my performance one. Really, and you've got different inputs for different things, which is really clever. Then you've got the main window, and on the main window, it tells me that I'm live and how long I've been live for, how many people are here, and I can even hover over it, and it says there are 6 at the moment on YouTube and 1 on Facebook. Then you've got basically me and the window, and there's my window, and I can drag it and just move it over, and you can see I can just do that straight away. We can say, let's make that full screen, and there's another way of doing it under here. And then we've got this chat. Now, this is the chat overlay over here, and this is showing what you guys are saying. If I take this away, then what happens is this all goes full screen. And we've got a background image that's kind of floating around here. Do you see that? And I can have this in a couple of different ways. We can have this side by side, depending on what you're doing. I can have it full screen. I kind of tend to have it like this because then it's more like a tutorial thing. Or you could have this where it's at the bottom. There we go. So you can have lots of different ones there. And as I turn one off or hit maximize, that's the one that's going to go full screen. If I turn that off right now, then my one would just default to going full screen. You don't have to do anything. And they do these lovely transitions, which is really, really good. Underneath that, we've got how we've actually got our scene set up. So right now we've got mute, and I can mute the microphone. We can disable the camera. We can stop sharing the screen. We can invite guests. So I could invite Pete right now. It depends if you join me. But we could invite people in. I could invite anyone. We can add a source. And this is something that's quite new. So if we go onto here right now, what you'll see is you can add video that you've got stored with the Restream, a local video, and another RMTP source, and some background music. We got some background music already, but imagine if we're doing a tutorial, I could actually do a live video. I say I would be live, but the video would be replaying, and then we could talk over the top of it, or we could let the video play and then do a Q&A afterwards. So that's really, really handy. Certainly if you've got like a new product that we're talking about, C600. And we can obviously have a look at that and then play a video and then chat about it. And what's really clever about that is it will store that for you. So then if you wanted to replay that, you could do, which is really nice. In the settings, you've got a couple of things. So at the moment, we're streaming at 720 at 30 frames. We've got participant names, automatically share the screens. Video-wise, you can see there's video, hello, and which video it is. So I could obviously use that. I could use the FaceTime one. You've got other apps. So I've got an app on my phone, which is called Ecamm, and you've got NDI as well. Audio-wise, this is where it gets really interesting. So you can see here, I've been using the Audio Fuse Studio, which is my new audio interface. But then you've got obviously different bits. I can actually pick the microphone of the camera if I wanted to. And then I could pick obviously other bits as well, which are virtual if you're using it through things like OBS. There's a new part here which is green screen, and you need to have certain requirements for that. And then there's some keyboard shortcuts which are really, really useful. I hope you guys can see all this, because technically right now I can't see what's going on. And there's loads of keyboard shortcuts you can get used to, and you can open like invites and things like that straight away. It's really easy. And then you've got a private chat. So imagine for right now you had 4 guests on and you were doing an interview. You can private chat between the guests. That's really handy. Where it gets really interesting though is over here. And right now we're in the chat, and I can, as I just said, basically I can just highlight people's chat. Did you see the way this moved? It knows there's a chat that's bigger than itself, so it makes it a little bit smaller, and it just moves out of the way. It's really, really clever. So it's all good. I'll get back in touch. Happy New Year to you and your family. Stay well. We will. Thank you very much, and Happy New Year to you too. How long is it before you can't say Happy New Year to someone in the year? Having this conversation of the week. Someone said about 2 weeks, or is it the whole of January? What do you reckon? I don't know. So this is the chat overlay. Now I can even reply here. I can reply in the chat. So imagine I was playing and my wife was looking after the chat. She could actually, people were talking and asked a question. She could type here and then just hit send, and we can actually send via Restream, or send it as a YouTube or Facebook reply, or if you've got different ones, you can do it in different ways. So you can type a message here and talk whilst it's going on. It's really, really useful. The next part is captions. So as we were talking about a couple of things, I can bring up talking about Apple adapters, or I could bring up a sponsor here, which obviously is today's sponsor for the Restream, which is their link, and you can add anything in you want. So I can add another one in. You have the primary text, you have the secondary text, which is optional, and you can just say add, and it just sits here. There's loads of them that I've got. That one, for example, that I used to use. Follow me on all the socials. Jump on Music UK. And you've still got Buy Me a Coffee as well, which is obviously there as well. And you can also book me on my new website, which is fantastic. And then if you are on YouTube, of course, you can support me live by asking a question with a super chat. If you want to do a super chat, you're more than welcome. You don't have to. And then the last section here is graphics, and this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So you can pick colors. You can put a logo up. Now, on the basic one, what you can do is you can just click that and it brings it up here. But I can actually replace that with my own little logo at the top there. I don't tend to do that because I like to leave the chat up so people can chat away, which is really, really useful. Oh, what was that? Let's bring that over there. There you go. So we'll do this live right now. And so on the YouTube chop chat, the messages goes up. On your screen, the messages start from the top and go down. Yes, I know. Bizarro, right? I know. I kind of like it though. I like it kind of the way it does that. So it's there and it goes that way, but then on my thing it goes that way. So yeah, it's quite useful. Is that background music built into Restream? It is. Yes. So let me just go over that again for you. So right now, I'll turn it off. Do you see that? It's there. And you just turn it on, turn it off. Let's shuffle. Nice little background music there. And this is just, it says audio. I can actually remove it completely. And then what we'll do is we'll get a new one. So we go into, sorry, I did that really quick. Where it says plus, you go there and you go add background music, and you've got loads of different ones. So there's new year ones here, and there's all different ones. But we're using the down tempo one. There's a couple of others here. Let's just use that one. And there we go, it's back. And then we can just shuffle it and it'll just keep going as well. It's one of those ones that kind of plays quite a few minutes, and then it kind of bleeds into itself. So it never stops. So it's really useful. I hope that helps, Pete. So we go. You like that, do you? Yeah, so I can see the last one at the bottom here, almost like it's at the bottom, and then when you click it, but then it appears at the top actually on the live stream, so that it's like the top message. I think they may have done that because of different socials, because different socials work in different ways. Certainly YouTube, obviously, it's sort of top down, because the next one is at the very top. I don't know, it's just a lot easier. Let's go back over to graphics. So we've gone over this. Primary color is if you want, obviously, if I bring something up, then when you bring something up, it's got a color with it. So if I was to bring up a caption right now, Selfless plug, you can see that there it's actually got join Restream, but then the Restream is in blue, so I can actually change that color. So let's have it in purple, or let's have it in that nice blue. That's quite nice. You can rob a color, so you can obviously pick a color, the color picker. So we can have it in I don't know, what color we have it in? Let's have it in that color. There you go. Deep purple to match this, which I'll go into in a second. And you have different ways for it to look. So you can have it as a full news thing, which goes across the bottom, or you can have it rounded, which is quite nice. It depends on how you want it. It depends on what you're doing. I just use it as the default, and I'm just going to put it back to that color. There we go. And then underneath we've got the logo. Under that you've got overlays. Now overlays are something that go over the top of what you're using. So right now we've got no overlays, and I'm just going to take that caption off. But then what I'm going to do is I've got my own overlays. We've got some that are actually built in. So you've got ones like this, and you can see there, it just adds it on top no matter what's going on. That's fine if you're chatting or if you're doing an interview. If you're kind of doing stuff where you're doing a performance, it might get in the way. Just be aware of that. And it's going to get in the way of the chat as well. There's the Restream one, and it just has a little Restream logo on there. But then what you can start doing is you can start adding your own. So you can see there, upload your own. So I've uploaded a couple. You may have seen me use these ones before or this one before, which was Ask Me Anything. And you've also got the one we're using tonight, which is sponsored by Restream. And I've built this actually by using Procreate and just creating a PNG, which means that the background is see-through, and therefore it's the right size. So I've just made sure I've got the right size, and I've just called that PNG. That's it, .png. Then you've got video clips. Now, these video clips are very useful, and I use one at the beginning of this live stream. And you've got video clips that are countdowns mainly, but then you can also have one that is here. Now, when I click this, it's going to turn the background audio off. It's going to turn my microphone off, which is very clever, and also disable my camera. And I'm only going to do this for a second, but I'm just going to show you. Some of them have got countdowns, some of them are just going. And I'm just going to play one now. Now I've just stopped that, and hopefully you can hear everything back again. And it's all back as the way it was. Now over here you'll see, you won't see it unless I was able to really show you, but when you click it, it comes up with saying your mic is muted, and it just takes over every input source. And you can stop it. Nothing here actually changes. It just shows it playing here in the background. But imagine, for example, you had a performance that you filmed, and then you want to do a Q&A or a breakdown of how you did that performance. You could play the performance here, and then you could then just bring your camera back and go, cool, let's chat. Or imagine if you had a how-to, or imagine if you did, here's how you learn to play a certain song. Again, any video clip. So I've got one here that I made. I'm going to play it now. And then once it finishes, it just goes back to it, and that's it. Really nice and easy. I can click it and just let it run, or I've interrupted each one every time, just so you know. So I can do that, and again, you can just upload, and it doesn't. I can't actually see a problem with how long it is at the moment. I've seen a couple of other YouTubers use this, and they put up like 4 or 5 minute videos, and then the video runs while the live stream's going on, and then they answer a lot of questions. Next is background, and this is basically backgrounds first of all. And I've got my own backgrounds, but I actually like and use the Restream ones because they've been designed by Restream and they look glorious. So the one I use is this one. You can see this all hovering around here in the background, and it just turns, just like lovely sort of like polygons that keep turning around. I can change it over. I can put it to this one, and I can do this. There we go. And I can move it back again. How do I show you a short video on here right now? The way you would be able to show me a video is that I would have to invite you as a guest, and then once you accepted as a guest, then if you've got access to that video, you would upload it to your own thing, and you'd be able to hit play as long as I allow it. I'm the host, and then you have guests. The alternative is obviously if you're the host. If I wanted to just add a video right now, I can just go add source, local video. So if the video is on my computer, I can share a video file from my computer, click it, it'll load it up, and it won't play it straight away. It'll be here, and then when I click it, it'll just play. And the great thing is when it does do a video, these all turn off temporarily, and then when the video stops or finishes, these turn back on automatically. So if you want to show a video, like you wanted to show one of your performances, Marvin, then you could literally add sources in before you go live, and then get everything set up. So I set this up, which is basically share my screen, and then the reason I've done this is because to show you how to share the screen, I can't show you how to share the screen without sharing the screen. Does that make sense? When you click here, this will say stop sharing screen, and that'll disappear. But this will say share screen, and I can share you either the whole screen, or I can just show you Chrome, or I can show you a specific window. With this, it's inviting a guest. So you could invite maybe you did a performance and it was filmed. and then you could have a guest. Now, what's really clever as well with the guest one is when you invite a guest, I can actually give you a link, and then that person, if they've got a YouTube channel, they can actually have the same live stream on their YouTube channel. And Pete, if you're still here, I think you'll really like this. And I think it's called Pairs. So it's fairly new. And Pairs, what you do is you both you either have someone who logs in and then you invite the other person in, and then they can actually push the same live stream out to their channel. So you could actually have the same interview on both channels. I think what's been missing on YouTube certainly is when you do an interview with another YouTuber, then you're on their channel, but then you can't actually show it on your channel. And if you're doing it live, this is great because you can actually then do an interview with the both of you, do it all through this, and then this pushes it out to both channels, because all it's doing is it's already pushing it out to 3 places at the moment. All it does is it just pushes it out to a 4th place, which is someone else's YouTube channel, which is the guest, the person who it is. So you could do that. Imagine Marvin, you've got a YouTube channel, you're interviewing someone who sung for you, and they've got a YouTube channel. They could actually have it on their channel as well. So what you're getting is you're getting more people at the same time for the same content, which is really, really clever. I really like that. Now, the other thing you can do with all of this is right at the very bottom of the graphic stuff, it says default graphics. Show the default graphics like overlays, videos, and backgrounds, and you can turn it off. So if you don't want to see the default stuff, you only want to see the stuff you've uploaded, you can do that, which is really cool. So let's have a quick look at this. Wow. 2 minutes of me playing Let There Be Peace on Earth on a $1.5 million Steinway gold leaf arc case 9-foot grand piano. Wow. How did that feel playing that? Also, what was the resonance like? Obviously, it's a Steinway, so they've obviously got it right, but it's obviously gold leaf cased. It's not obviously gold leaf on the hammers or anything. But like, that must have felt amazing to play that. That's fantastic. Yeah, I really like that. That's cool. Pete, yeah, I'm intrigued by the pairs feature. YouTube previously didn't allow it because it duplicated content, but that was a while back. It may have changed. Yes, it has changed. What they now do is they recognize that basically it's 2 different live streams, even though it's the same content. I don't know how it looks because I've not done it with anyone. Maybe, Pete, you want to be my guinea pig for maybe in the next live stream, and we could try it. I don't know if you look like you're the host on yours and I look like I'm the host on mine, or it just looks identical. I think it probably looks identical because there's always someone controlling it. So I don't know how that would look on the other end. So I think it looks identical. But yeah, have a look at Restream Pairs. If you just YouTube it, Google it. Restream themselves do have a YouTube channel, and they do have loads of live shows, funnily enough, and they're very good, and they show you how they utilize that stuff. Now, there's all of this that I've just shown you today. This has all been using Restream Studio, which is studio.restream.io, or obviously if you want to, you can of course click the link that's in the description box or just follow that link there, and you can get $10 on your account. Also, a lot of the stuff that I've shown you, the basic stuff, is free, and you can use this completely free. Now, I actually live stream to my Facebook page as opposed to Facebook, my personal account, and to do that, you need to go up and pay for a tier, as it were. But the default one, you can live stream for free, completely free. By even if you just click that link and join, you'll get a free account, which is really, really easy. And I find it incredibly easy. So for doing what I'm doing right now, for example, if I was to like just obviously have the microphone here and the guitar here, and I use the guitar, hopefully you will hear this now if I turn that off. Obviously, I'd reframe this so you could see the guitar. And that's because basically I've got the guitar plugged in on another input on my audio interface. So it's really easy to do in that respect. It's just plug in the microphone, plug in the guitar, and then just tell this that it's an audio interface, and it just figures it out, which is really easy. And then I've just got independent volume controls on my audio interface that I just turn up and down. And of course, I can adjust. If someone goes, guitar's a bit low, I'll turn it up. The great thing about setting yourself up for a live gig, as it were, then what you would do is, on something like this, of course, your microphone, your guitar, your keyboard, whatever, you're going to set it up so you can hear it, and it's going to sound pretty much the same. So you can actually do that on there and then just do that straight away. Oh, I thought you were going to play a song for us. If we can find a plectro, I will. Do you want me to play a song? I'll play a song. I don't mind. But I just wanted to show you. In fact, do you know what? Let's do that. I'm going to move this slightly, and we'll play a little song, because I wanted to show you like how you can live stream for musicians. So surely that's the way forward. All right. So that's where everyone leaves now. I'm joking. It's also very useful with things like this to have a boom arm, and this is actually on a boom arm. You saw, just move it then. So first of all, and this is another thing for live streaming as well, is don't be afraid to ask the audience, and just ask the audience, can you hear me? And I've just made my chair go lower. There we go. I want to make it go higher. So can you hear me? Can you hear the guitar? How's it sound? Sound all right? So I will play a song if someone actually does comment to say it sounds okay. David says, yes, we can hear you. Okay, that'll do. It's Sunday morning, and you're in my head again. New England is rising from the dirt again. And all I have for now is just you. All I need for now is you. Let's say that I miss you. To travel from the lakes or Amsterdam, I wanna see you. Your eyes are captivating my hands. All I have for now is just you. All I need for now is you. Compromising without situations rising, watching birds fly against the wind. Show me the streets of London. Show me that's all I can take. I'll compromise my business, but for now, all I have for now is just you. All I need for now is you. All I have for now is just you. All I have for now is you. just you. All I need for now is you. Cheers. So that just shows you what you can do. Now, the thing with that is, oh, I need to take a breath a minute. I hope that was all right. Another thing with that is when I was playing, obviously I was set up to play, but I wasn't going to play tonight. But I thought, well, I'll play that, no problem. You're welcome, no worries. Now the thing is, I noticed on my audio interface, which is just here, the guitar spiked, and I can see the volume going up and down. So I did kind of have a look at that and go, oh, play a little bit softer. So you do have to adjust according to how you're playing. Let's put some background music back up. There we go. And it's one of these things where you can just obviously that was great. Good, thank you. That is one of my songs called All I Now Have. It's available on my album called Walking Home, which is available everywhere. iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify. Go and find it. The John Paul Walking Home is the album. So yeah. And the thing is, I can see my voice bouncing up and down on the audio interface. I can see the guitar doing the same. And if you've got something which obviously has got LEDs like a mixer, that's really useful because as long as you're playing to the same way you'd always play, going through a speaker, it should sound identical going through, something like this. Now, internet usage and stream rates and everything else can be a bit bitty sometimes, but then also on Restream what you can see is you can see the audio level, which is just here. So of course you could always turn it down, but then if it's already distorting at that level, you need to turn that down first. There's no point turning down distorted music. It's still going to sound distorted. I hope that makes sense. The other thing that I always get asked about that, my microphone and guitar just plug straight into the audio interface. And the other thing I get asked is, well, what about reverb? What about effects? What about sound? Well, how would you normally get reverb and effects and sound if you're doing it live? You don't. Would you rely on the sound engineer to do that, or do you have an audio effects unit? So plug in as if you're live. So if you're reliant on just obviously a guitar and microphone and that's it, you can get pieces of software on your computer that you can get effects for, and then you could route the audio of that into something like Restream. So it's going in it's bypassing Restream, it's going into this audio unit and then going in and coming out that way, if that makes sense. And you've got what's called audio loopbacks. So audio loopbacks is where you loop the audio back, so it doesn't come through your computer speakers, it goes into another program, which in this sense would be Restream. I hope all that makes sense, by the way. The simpler thing is if you've already got an effects pedal that you plug into it, and then the output of what you would have at the very end, which goes into the PA, goes into the computer. That's the easy part about it. Now, the other thing as well is doing things like multicamming. And multicamming you can do obviously on programs, on softwares like things like Ecamm and stuff like that. The way round on Restream Studio is two ways. One is using something like OBS, which is a open broadcast software preset package where you can actually have different scenes. You can have multiple scenes. And then you can actually, instead of using Restream Studio, you use Restream and the source is OBS. I hope that makes sense. That's another way of actually getting effects in, by the way, certainly if you've got like plugins and things like that. The other way to do it is actually doing it, which I'm setting up now, is doing it via guest, and then you turn the guest microphone off. So I'm going to invite myself. So I'm just going to go onto my iPad, and I'm going to allow my camera, but I'm not going to allow my microphone. And hopefully, if this works live, hopefully. This would be interesting if it works live, or if it doesn't work live, we'll soon know. Let me just, I think that's a different one because I was testing this earlier. So, 1 second, let's go invite guest. Click the little linky link in the dinky dink and do that. Yes, there we go, allow. Right, so what I'm now doing is I'm going to go on there and I'm going to show you again my live stream. that I can see, and I'm going to show you what I can see now. Now, I've added in another guest, and can you see them here? That is my iPad. That is the guest. And the great thing about the iPad, of course, is just using Safari as a guest. I've turned the audio down completely on the output. And what I'm going to do, there's my iPad, I'm going to mute the audio of that person. It says the host has muted your microphone, and that's what you want, because if you're in the same room, you're just going to get feedback and it's going to sound horrible. Now, if I was to get rid of this and bring in our guest, which technically is me, this is over, live streaming, so it's going to look a little bit bitty. But what you could do technically is you can have a second angle. You could have a different angle, maybe a pedal board or anything like that. But right now, what I can do is I can use this to show you my audio interface, and there it is right there. So my audio interface is working, and my microphone is plugged in straight to it. Excuse the keys, they're my house keys. And I can see right now that my audio interface there, is pumping away. And then my guitar is here. I'm sorry, I'm not holding this properly. Should have done it with a phone, it's easier. And then there's the volume for the phone. So I can do things like that, which is really, really easy and useful. And I can set this up as like a second camera. And then I can turn it off again just as quick as that. And then Restream just reframes it. So if you're doing something where you want that as maybe a second camera on the floor, showing you a pedal board, which is what I normally do with things like looping, I could set it up in a certain way. So let's bring it back on live, and you can have it side by side. Oh, there's two JPs. And you can actually have it like one's like on the floor there, so I could make it really small. And then the main camera, which is better quality, is actually bigger. And then this one, there we go, is small, and it doesn't really sort of matter too much about the quality, if that makes sense, of the video, as long as you sort of see it. Or you could switch it around where you want the pedal board to be seen and then just your face in the corner showing it, something like that. So this is really useful. Let me get rid of that. So there we go. This is really useful. If I was to turn off the live stream multi-chat here, I would still see it. Basically, and I can still see what you guys are saying. But at the same time, you guys wouldn't be able to see it. So yeah. Which GP do you like best? Well, that's brilliant. Which GP do you like best? Well, they both like orange. There we go. Oh, cool. Wicked. Thank you very much. I just sent you a photo of the gold piano to your email to share. Right, okay. I'll tell you what we'll do. The other JP is leaving. Yes. And it'll disappear. Now, so content-wise, what we're going to do is, I don't know how this is going to work live, but I'm just going to see if we can do it. I'm now going to get Marvin's picture and save it. And I'm just going to then bring it up live on the show so we can actually see it. It's downloading at the moment, so please bear with. But in the meantime, whilst that is downloading, we're sorting that out. If you want to do any of this stuff, this live stream is sponsored by Restream, and Restream are basically how we're doing this right now. And oh wow, I've just got the picture. Wow. That's an amazing piano. Guys, you're in for a treat. Watch this. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can bring that picture in. We'll just bring that picture in now. There we go. Now, this is the thing what you can do. You can do this where you share a screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a screen with you. So if I go stop sharing that screen, but share a new screen, let's share a window. And there we go. And that's available now. So there we go. Hope you guys can see that there. That is, that's Marvin with a gold leaf piano. Wow. I hope you can see that. In fact, let me just see if I can make that even bigger. Hang on a second. That's amazing. There we go. Look at that. A gold leaf piano. That's incredible. It's fantastic. Wow. So yeah, so there we go. So you can do stuff like that. And we just did this live right now. And obviously this would be like more of a kind of chat showy kind of thing where you can show stuff that people have sent in. That's really, really good. Oh, you've just bought what? Oh, I've just seen that. Hang on a second. Let's bring that up. David just bought Walking Home. Oh, thank you very much. You can obviously listen to it as much as you want now. You've bought it. Get me through work tomorrow. That's great. Thank you very much. Fantastic. Yeah, wow indeed. Wow for an amazing thing. That's cool. Thank you, David. That's so nice of you. That's cool. Just out of curiosity, just let us know where you bought it. Whether you obviously got it on sort of like, if you're on Apple or if you bought it through sort of Amazon. Please let me know. I'm just interested. So yeah, we're basically doing this live stream with all this stuff, and what's amazing about all of it is there's no software. There's no software at all. It's all through Chrome. So it's just the Chrome connection. That's all it is. And even so, that I'm gonna basically bring this one in. Let's do it like that. There we go. Let's maximize that one. There we go. So what you're gonna see is my face, and we're going to just bring this in to be the back camera. There we go. So there you go. It literally is just, let's turn that down. Now that's the only thing, I can hear myself in the iPad, so it can be a little bit distracting. But this is it. There's no software. It's just a Chrome browser, and this is how I can talk to you all and how you can see multiple things. As you can see here, we've got obviously this, and that's it. You've got my camera there that is obviously minimized at the moment, and then you've got the music, and then there's the photograph that Marvin did. So yeah, and then what I can do is I can turn that off, and then instantly you're back to me. There we go. So it's really, really good, certainly for people who want to do sort of like music and you want to play to different places. But the number one thing you're going to need is you're going to need some kind of audio interface, or you're going to need a USB mixer. I would say go down the USB mixer route. If I was to do this again from complete scratch, I'd go USB mixer. And what's really interesting now over the past kind of like 2.5, 3 years is the development of oh, you got it on iTunes. Sorry, completely sidetracked. You got it on iTunes. That's awesome. Thank you. What's amazing is on iOS, so on iPhone and iPad, is the development of what they call Audio Core. What that means is that a couple of years ago, when you used to plug in, it used just to be channel 1 is left and channel 2 is right, and that still happens. But what they do now is it goes, that's an audio interface, and it kind of knows it's an audio interface, or it goes, that's a USB mixer. So it's really great, because for us, for people who want to do live streaming with music-based stuff, or with multiple ins and things like that, or band, it makes it even easier to do live streaming, and you can do it all through a Chrome browser, technically for free. Now, I've got the pro version of Restream, but you can do it completely free, which is really, really good and really useful. And let's just bring this up. I was going to bring this up before, and I forgot to do it because I'm really good with planning. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop that. There we go. And we're going to remove the guest, and we're going to stop sharing the screen. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to share a new window with you, a new Chrome tab. So I'm actually going to share this one. So now I can leave this tab and get out of this tab, and I can just click this. There you go. How cool is that? I'm not actually on the tab myself. I'm back on the other tab, but on the Restream tab. But I can just leave that there. So let's just go through this. The 0% forever, 30 platforms to stream, unlimited streaming minutes, and some of the other streaming places do limit you. They go, you can only do an hour a month or 2 hours a month, things like that. Unlimited. You're compatible with Zoom, compatible with OBS. So if you want to do a Zoom call, you can do that. Restream Studio, you can invite guests, you can screen share. The basic version comes without custom graphics and includes a Restream watermark. And then there's no additional streaming software needed. You've got the background music that is there for you. You can use that. You can use the chat overlay that we're using right now. And then you've got the standard one. And then what that does is basically it's good for sports entertainment. But they're saying everything that's free, plus you get a custom channel. So you can do things. Channels. You can stream to Facebook pages and groups, and that's very useful. Again, no branding. Then you can use Restream pairs, and this is where you can have, if there's two YouTubers, they can stream the same information basically to their two channels, but they're getting both their audiences to the same to their own channels. They don't have to push all their audience to another channel to say, by the way, I'm on here, do you want to go move over? You don't have to do that anymore. You could use that. And then it can also record. There's also more benefits and features, but you can record your streams, so we can record up to 6 hours. And then you got the professional one, and this is what I'm on. Everything that's in standard, plus you get 3, you get stream pre-recorded videos. So this is really, really useful if you've got like a channel where you're you've got like or you've got a performance and you want to chat about it afterwards. It's really good. You can stream in full 1080 in the studio if you want to, the best quality possible. You've got video storage. Upload any video to our secured cloud and use it during a live stream. And then you can record for 10 hours as well. Now, this one, going back to this one, it's free. It's free forever. Should you go to one of these two, then if you use the link, obviously, and you sign up to Restream anyway, you're going to get $10 from me. So that could go towards your first month of a standard one or your first month of a professional one. So it's just something, obviously, that we've done with Restream just to give you a little bit of money. There you go. So that way you can do it. So guys, if you've got any questions regarding live streaming and live streaming with this platform, please, this is the time to ask me. Now, if you're watching this on a replay, whether that's on Facebook or on YouTube, then please hit me in the comment section and I'll answer it as fast as I can. I am more prolific on YouTube than I am on Facebook at the moment, just because of time. But I'll try and answer as many as I can where I can. I hope that's okay. Just sent one more. Right, okay, hang on. Just sent one more. This is one more of the 7 pianos at the museum, the largest collection ever. Wow. Okay, cool. So we're going to do this again. What we'll do, let's just get out of there. There we go. Let's stop sharing my screen. Let's just go and grab this photograph. Let's have a ganders. We save that to my downloads folder. And then we share a screen, and what we'll do is we will open said download. There we go. Let's get rid of that one. But you see how you can do this live, and it's actually easy. So it's going to be that one. Share. So let's make that a bit bigger. There we go, and away you go. Wow! Look at that. That's insane. That's amazing. The craftsmanship on that and the artwork on that is insane. Look at that. You've actually got a picture actually on. Wow. The sheer detail that's gone into that is incredible. Sorry, I'm just taken aback by it. I think it's amazing. I play piano and I play keyboards and things, and I'm in awe of that. It's lovely. I do love it. You gotta love a grand. You gotta love a grand piano. It's amazing. That is cool. It is. Absolutely is. Marvin, what I'd like you to do for the audience and for the live stream, for people who are watching, please put in the. You debut this one, really. Please put in where the museum is, where the collection is. I don't know if you did do that already, but please do that again, just so we've got it here. That's amazing. Right then. So just basically, I'm going to sum up in a minute. Obviously, if no one has got any questions live, if you have got questions, obviously on the replay, please put them up. There we go. So that is the museum where Marvin obviously had all these pianos. That's amazing. That's cool. So if you haven't got any other questions, obviously regarding Restream, please do click the link and have a look. I hope that's something that can help you with in 2022. Are you planning to do live streaming? Is it something you're looking at and you're going, oh, it's too complicated to learn OBS, or I don't know which one to go for and everything else? This is free. You can get this completely free and start live streaming today. And you could just plug in your audio interface or your mixer or microphone if you've got the right connection. Or you don't even have to do that. If you don't have any of that equipment, you can use the microphone of your laptop. You can use the camera of your laptop, or if you're doing it on an iPad or even a phone, you could use the microphone and the camera from them as well. So you can do that all through the browser. I've got Safari on my iPad. This is using Chrome because Chrome is a little bit better for Restream for the way it works, but you can technically do it. Then if you're plugging in something obviously like this, like the camera adapter, and you plug that into your phone, then you can plug in obviously a battery, and you can plug in an audio interface, and you plug in a microphone, and you can live stream with just a little bit of better audio quality. And that's what it's really all about. It's about giving your audience an experience which is just a little bit better than the norm. Now, some brand new laptops have got some amazing microphones, and they're great for voice and they're great for audio, but some of them aren't great for picking up, multiple instruments at once because you can't get a volume difference. That's why a USB mixer is probably the way to go. And it would be, it's a great way to actually get plugged in and get up and running. But if you haven't got that, as I said, you can pick up that Behringer one for literally 50 quid and then plug everything in and get going. If you've obviously got the kind of instrument that doesn't have any way of plugging in, my acoustic guitar is a semi-acoustic, so you can plug a jack in. Then you're going to need a microphone, and something like these microphones, they're very, very good. The Aston microphones, they have one which is called the Aston Element, and it's a weird microphone because it costs around about £150, which to some people it's a lot of money, but the quality out of it is absolutely insane. So that's called the Aston Element. I would highly recommend that if you're looking for an all-round microphone, not just a short SM58, just for live. If you're looking for something that can do a little bit of everything, this is the same. This is the Aston Stealth. This is a little bit more pricey, but what this does, it has 4 different voices and it's 4 different circuitries that you can turn and change. And so at the same time, I can use it both with 48 volts and I can use it without 48 volts. So if I'm using right now with 48 volts for my voice, but if you've got a screaming guitar, you can turn the 48 volts off and it works just like a normal microphone. So it's a little bit of a weird connection, but it won sort of like in NAMM a couple of years ago, so I had to check it out and it is fabulous. It's also got a built-in cloud lifter, so loads of people who do live streaming, you see them with the Shure SM7B. The SM7B is an amazing microphone. It is. There's no doubt about that. However, it does have a dark side, a downside, which is it's really quiet and you need what's called a cloud lifter to plug into it. So you've already spent loads of money on a microphone anyway. Then you've got to spend another 70 quid on a cloud lifter just to make that work the way you want it to. This one doesn't. This one has a cloud lifter technically built in, and you can use it with or without 48 volts. So you could use it without 48 volts, crank it up, plug it into your phone, and away you go. So I like this. This is my choice. This is what I like. It suits my voice quite nicely, thank you. But also at the same time, it's a really versatile microphone. So I've used it for recording, I use it for live streaming, I use it for my videos, I use it for quite a lot of different things. Now, I've been using the Focusrite 2i2, as I say, for way over 10 years as my audio interface of choice. And then I've finally just literally a few weeks ago moved over to the Arturia Audio Fuse Studio. Now, this is something that actually came out last year, and they've now just done the Audio Fuse. Is it the Mini Fuse they've done? But the Studio has 18 ins and 20 outs, and it's crazy. But I wanted something that I can use basically for potentially the next 10 years. And it's got independent volume controls on the inputs, which I can see, as well as the output level. So for me, it's what I want for both live streaming, but also at the same time for using it for recording for potentially the next album this year. But I just want to give you that information. And also at the same time, I did, and for those who have followed me that long ago, I did a couple of years back, every week, every Sunday, we did Sunday Songs with JP, and that literally was a phone using that, or using that camera, on a tripod like that one there. And in fact, it was that one there. I haven't changed the tripod. That tripod's really old. So it was that tripod. I think it was a different mount though. But that's like a new little mount. And that mount's by Newer. And I think, again, it costs like 30, 40 quid. So you can set yourself up really easily. And we did that on a beach once. We actually went to the beach and plugged that in, plugged this little adapter in, plug the guitar in with an audio interface. And at one time, we didn't have anything. We just had the phone, and you could just point the phone literally at that, and away you go. Now, the reason why I'd still use Restream is because then you can push it out to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all these different places. There's actually loads of different places you can stream from. And you do that all from the phone directly. So the platforms you've got at the moment, the big ones, so YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, Twitter, personal Facebook profile, so different social medias. You've got, when you go up to the paid ones, you've got things like, you could do it to 2 Facebook channels. So imagine you've got one for the channel, and you've got your other one that's like, for a friend, or you've got your personal and your other one, you've got 2 YouTube channels. So you could push it to different places. You can also, on the paid ones, push it to what's called a custom platform. So if you want to push it to like your own website, you could push it to an RTMP, and then you could push it to somewhere like Vimeo, and it only shows up on your website. So you could do things like that. So it's really, really useful. So it's all good. Marvin, sorry I didn't actually put this up. I would love to set up with you to do a live 15 to 20 minute concert from my house to you, and then out again from a broadcast like this. Yes. Well, I think that is where Restream Pairs comes in, because then what we can do is we can pair up, and then you could perform, and then I'll just be sitting there looking, watching, and go, that's amazing, because you're an amazing pianist, and there we go. And then basically we could then have a chat about it afterwards. So maybe we could set that up and have a look at it. Definitely, that'd be really, really good. Thank you for your time. It was good live about Restream. Good, fantastic. At least we got something. I'm glad we got something out of it. It's all good. So, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for coming online and commenting and watching and everything else. But if obviously you have missed any of the information, this will be available for replay pretty much as soon as we hit end, and then it'll be available both on the YouTube channel and also on my Facebook channel, which again is on John Pop Music UK. And also, there's going to be a new video out on Friday, and that's a biggie. So stay tuned for that. If you're into looping, that is a big looping video coming out with someone's new flagship looper, which I've been teasing for months. So we are going to finally bring that video out next week. But thank you very much for joining us tonight. And again, if you're watching on the replay, you've got a question, please don't be afraid to ask. That's exactly what I'm here for, to obviously answer any of your questions regarding live streaming. Guys, thank you very much, and have yourselves a lovely evening or morning or day, wherever you are. And I'm going to leave you with some lovely video, which just shows a lovely countdown. And then that way you know you can leave. But thank you very much. Have a good evening. Have a good day. Have a good morning. Bye-bye.